Hello, everyone. This is John Reardon here with Goodfellow Realty. Today is Friday, June 26th, and this is the June edition for the San Diego housing market update. Let's jump in and we will start with mortgage rates. Current mortgage rate for a 30-year fix is currently sitting at 6.53%. You can see that is off the highs of nearly 6.8%, although holding in the mid sixes as of late. The Middle East conflict is still at large. We are still seeing some hesitancy as to rates not falling as a result. As we get more clarity, I think that will make a clearer picture for the future. But until now, that uncertainty still remains. As far as the San Diego Market Action Index, that is currently sitting at 50, which is unchanged month over month. You can see that with the dial or gauge there. This is for the single family homes. We've got a number of real-time market statistics on the far right, but in summary, it still remains a strong seller's market as of right now. On the flip side, we are looking at the condo market, and that is currently sitting at 34, or a slight seller's advantage. So we are nearing a buyer's market for the condo market. When we're looking at the Market Action Index, this is a long-term historical view. You could see that the long-term downtrend does remain still intact, although I do have a second arrow with some support and some elevation in the call it last 6 months or so. I think we're going to be a little bit range bound around this 40 to 50 range until we get some traction, either more supply or lower rates hitting the market to bring in new buyers and sellers into the marketplace. Market segmentation. So I have single family homes on top. On the bottom are attached or townhomes and condos. And you can see that based on the price points alone, that things are moving on the single family home side quite quickly. 28 days on average, days on market, all the way up to about 1.5 million. Once you get above that, you're sitting at around 42 days on market, which isn't overly that long. So things are moving on the detached side. On the attached side, or condos and townhomes, you can see that it is a different picture. So the lower price homes are sitting, those are around that 56 days. And you can see that as we go up to the higher price points, all over 40 days in almost 50 days on average. This is the days on market. So it has been falling in recent months, currently sitting average days on market to 67 days, which is slightly higher than where we were this time a year ago. Current inventory levels, they are starting to rise, but lower than this time last year. You could see that represented with the 90-day rolling average there. And you could see that we are at levels lower than we were that of last year. So there were more homes on the market this time last year as we rolled into the summer. So what does that imply? That implies that there's going to be a smaller pool of homes for buyers to choose and select from. And that will keep demand pent up in the interim. Price per square foot has improved slightly. You can see that on a year-over-year perspective, coming in at $767 per square foot. You could see that just under, I would call that about 775, 780 for this time last year. When we're looking at San Diego prices, percentage of price reductions, that's coming in around 27%. That's relatively unchanged from this time last year, although that's starting to creep up. San Diego percentage of properties relisted has been falling to about 14%. And we see this from time to time with my discussions with folks that have taken their homes off the market. They are just not potentially seeing the buyer demand or the offers that they were once hoped. They're not in a position to expedite a sale and maybe holding out for better price points. So they're pulling their property off and they're not potentially relisting it immediately. So in short, for sellers, key takeaways here: lower inventory implies fewer homes for buyers to select from. So that's still a seller's advantage there. Sellers still have the advantage in today's market, but I think we all need to be very aware that pricing accurately is still the key to getting homes sold. When I talk to folks that are unsuccessful, that other agents have helped them with, typically it's revolving around price, condition, or just how it's been marketed. For buyers, rates remain elevated, which is keeping some buyers on the sidelines. Incomes are improving, which is helping affordability, but not necessarily solving for that, right? We see rates still elevated, so that's still going to be a hot button. And then homes priced right are still moving, so buyers still need to be competitive going after the right home for them. So as always, if you have any questions, please reach out, call, text, or email me, 858-309-2826. Thanks for joining today's market update, and I'll see you next month.